Okay, so we'll talk about set operators today. So why we use set operators? The question is why we use set operators. So at the point of time when we want to join two tables, at that point of time, everybody knows that we will use joins. On the based of some common column between them, I will use my join and I will drop a condition that where this table, this column is equal to that table, that column on the matching column. So join basically is used for joining two tables to aggregate those two tables and write a one query on that so that we get some records out of that. But set operators are some different. So now the requirement of set operator is that if you want to join the data set that you got after writing a select query, like for example, I have written a select query that select star from customers where name is equal to Durgesh. So it will give me all the details where the name is equal to Durgesh. Now, one more select query, select star from orders where name is equal to Durgesh. Now, right now, I am just telling you the concept. These two queries that I have written here, select star from this Durgesh, these are from two different tables. But if I want to add or if I want to aggregate the two data sets, like for example, here we got 5 records. Here we got 5 records. And here we got 4 records. So if I want to write a query in which all 5 and 4 records are there, like I want to add the output of two select queries, like I want to segregate the output of two select queries in a one query, then I will use my set operator here between these two queries. Now, when I have used my set operator in these two queries, I will get a result set which will include all the records of this query plus all the records of this query. Now, if I want to make some changes in the output that I am getting by adding the records of these two select queries, for that thing we have to some different set operators that we can use. So the gist of this topic right now that I'm telling you is that if we want to join or if we want to add or if we want to segregate the output of two select queries, then we use set operators. And if we want to join two tables, then we use joins. So select queries and tables are two different things. So for joining tables, we will use joins. For joining two select query records that we are getting after fetching those queries, we will use set operators. Now there are some terms and conditions of set operators. So before actually going into the set operator, I will tell you all the terms and conditions that are there in set operators. So, for example, in the first select query, there are 5 columns. So in the second select query, there must be 5 columns only. So number of columns will be same. If upper query has 5 columns, then below query will also have 5 columns. So number of columns will be same. Second rule. In the first select query, the order of data types will match the second select query. Like for example, I have written select name, comma, age from customers. And in the select query, I have written select name, comma, class from customers. Now the first condition is matching. We have 2 columns in both the select queries, but name data type is varchar here. Name data type is varchar here. And the name data type here is varchar only. But in the age data type, it is int here. And here it's varchar only. So these two select queries cannot be joined with the help of set operators. It cannot be joined with the help of set operators. These are two rules that you have to follow before using set operators. Now the third thing that when we'll deep dive, the third thing that I will tell you is there are certain different kinds of set operators. So what are those kinds of set operators? I will tell you. So first one is union. Second one is union all. Third one is except. And it is also known as minus in some of the cases. And there is one more set operators which is known as intersect. Now, if you are a person who has taken maths in class 10th, then you must heard about these kind of operators. Union, union all, except, intersect. There are some certain set of rules also in class 10th, De Morgan's law and all these things. Whereas you must have read about it. So what is union? So example I will give you. These are just, I am giving you theoretical examples. I will tell you each and everything in detail with the help of queries. Just right now, understand them in a theoretical way. So now we have one select query in which 5 records are there. And I'm assuming that these two select queries are following all the rules above. And there is second select query in which there are 4 records. Now, in the first select query, there is a record for Durgesh. And in the second select query output, there is also a record for Durgesh. So now what union will do, there are 5 records, there are 4 records. So if you want to join them with set operators, you will get 9 records. But what union will do, union will remove the record of Durgesh either from the first select query or from the select query, because union will not give you duplicates. So no duplicates here. So if there will be no duplicates, it means it will delete the record of, it will not delete, it will just take one occurrence of Durgesh record. Now in the second example, same example that I have taken for union, I will take it for union all. Now union all will give me all 9 records, whether they are matching or not. So now what minus do? So for example, in the first select query, you are getting an output of 1, 2, 3. And you have used the except operator. And in the second select query, you are getting an output of 1, 2. So your resultant output will be only 3. So all the records from the first select query, remove the records from the second select query. So 1 and 2 are in the first one, and we want to accept these 1 and 2. So what we will do, it will remove these 1 and 2 from the output, and we will get 3. Yeah, Divya, ask your doubt. Now you can speak.
So if there are two similar number of columns in your second table, like two Durgesh and one in your first, so it will pick up one only then, or two?
It basically depends on which columns our value is mapping. So in the first column, it is just like a composite key. So for example, in the first record, Durgesh is there, and in the third column of class, just take an example, in third column of class, there is Durgesh. And
Hmm.
in the last record, only the first column has Durgesh name. So it will not remove because it will be a type of composite key thing. Because one
So,
Durgesh is matching with a different kind of thing in the class terms. So it will not remove.
so we cannot use it to remove duplicates from any table, right? Like if
You
we are given a task to
then
remove
you
duplicates.
have to write a different set of query for that.
Is this operate used well, usually used to remove duplicates? I was
It is
don't
not
want to do.
usually used to remove duplicates, but
Okay.
it will remove duplicates in many of the cases. But if you have a certain different scenario, then you have to write different logics to remove that.
Okay. Understood.
Yeah. So
Thank
now
you.
when we are talking about intersect, so what intersect do? For example, in one select query, there are records 1, comma 2, comma 3, comma 4. No, union all is not just like full auto join. I will explain you why it's not. So for example, in intersect, there is 1, 2, 3, 4. In first select query, the records are coming 1, 2, 3, 4. And in the second select query, the records are coming 2, 3, 4, 5. So what are the common records in between? What are the common records? So 2, 3, 4 are the common records. So intersect will give you 2, 3, 4. So these are this is the complete theoretical explanation for set operators. Complete theoretical explanation for set operators. Those who want to save this can save this. I'm sending it on chat box. Am I audible? Okay, so like my Wi-Fi was switched off, so that's why it was there. So now I'm sending this thing to the chat box. Okay, so now we will go towards some practical explanations for set operators. So we'll take our data set. So I will take SQL practice data set. Yeah, began. What is your doubt? Just ping it in chat box. So I will use my select star from pets table, and I will use select star from owners table. These are the two tables that are there in my data set, SQL practice data set. So now I will write a select query first. Select pet ID from pets table where age is greater than 8 and name like percentile B. So this will give me some set of records. Now I will write union as a set operator. Union select select owner ID from pets table where city is equal to Grand Rapids. Basically, this is owner's table, yeah. Now, if we are using set operators to segregate the records for these two select queries, these two data types, or the data type of pet ID must be same with the data type of owner ID. So let's run this query. So if we are again selecting this thing, we are writing union all. If we are removing, just wait. So now if we are running this query, we are only getting the owner IDs. See, when we are running this query, we are only getting the owner IDs. We are not getting pet ID because there is no pet where the age is greater than 8 and name is starting with B. There is no pet where the age is greater than 8 and name starts with B. So what we will do, we'll remove this where condition. How many of you think it will run? How many of you think it will run? Just ping on the chat box. Why it's not running? And why previously it was running? I'm opening the access to speak. Anyone who can explain me this. It was previously running, but it was not running right now.
Because both query doesn't have same order.
What order?
Like in one in you are using where condition, na?
It is not like this. Only this thing column matters. If I want to put 100 where condition, then also it will not matter. Just tell me the answer why it's running previously and why it's not running right now.
But in second statement you are using city column, na, which is not used in first.
Previously, I think first where condition runs, so it did not qualify any records.
That's the answer. So what happened in the first, when the basically the difference is between these data types.
Right.
Yeah. The main difference is between data types. Data types are not same. But what happened when we are using previously this query? So previously there is some where condition there, which is not giving me any records from this first select query. So when I'm not getting any records from the select query, data type issue is not there. But as soon as when we got the records from the first select query, now these records from the first select query, pet ID must have the data type matching with the owner ID of the owner's table. That's why we are getting error right now. So now let's do one more thing. Again, one question. So these are the things that I'm telling now are the very basic things of set operators that people don't know, and they are like, because some of the time set operators play a very important role because they give you records fast. So now what I will do, I will take name from here and I will take name from here also. Now, how many of you think it will run?
Data type is same, it will run.
See, it will run. It will run. The owners from the Grand Rapids city will be added to the record set of name of pets. And it will not give me duplicate. So they go, right now the records are 54. But if I will write union all here, will the number of records change? The number of records will change from 54 or not? So now the records are 110. So basically that is the difference between union and union. Union all will remove. Right now Durgesh is coming this much times. But as you will use union, Durgesh will come only once. See, Durgesh is coming only once. Now one more thing. I am going to write something more in this query. Select name from pets. Name from pets. Group by name having count of name greater than 2. You can use cast operator for changing a data type. So right, for example, you have written cast and there is something known as 1. So right now 1 is as an integer. But if you will use select cast 1 as varchar 20. So now this 1 is converted into a string. Now this 1 is not a number. Now this 1 is a string. And for example, if you have a string here and you want to change it to an integer, so you will rate integer. So now this 1 will not be a string, this 1 will be an integer. So that's how you can change the data types.
जो अल्फा न्यूमेरिक है वो
जो अल्फा न्यूमेरिक है वो भाई स्ट्रिंग में ही रहेगा, उसको आप इंटीजर में नहीं, जो चीज हो ही नहीं सकती दैट यू कैन नॉट डू ना. Number cannot be string. If a string cannot be number, number can be like 1, 2, 3 can be a string, but a string ABC can be a number, yes or no? So now if I have written having count name greater than 2, will this query run? How many of you think it will run? Just tell me the answer fast. It will run. It will run. Because it doesn't matter what where condition, what group by, what else you have done. It never matters. The thing that matters is the column, whose data type must be same and number of columns must be same. That's it. So got to know the difference between union and union all and how you have to write the select queries for using set operators. Everybody is okay with it. At last, I will give you a very important and very asked question. And you will only solve that question. But right now, it's union and union all is clear to everyone. One more example I will give you. So just take name, comma, kind, comma, age. And here I will take name, comma, city, comma, zip code. How many of you think it will run? The answer is if these three data types above and the three data types below are same, then it will run. Now let's run this thing. It is not running. But that's not the reason. It is not running because I have not used kind and age in group by. Now let's try to run this. See, it's giving me the record. Durgesh, Grand Rapids, and this is the age. Up now, you are getting the things. Age cannot be like this, 49503. How it is calculate, how the age column is there. So the answer is every time when you will use a set operators, the first select query columns will reflect in the output. So now it's the zip code only. It's the zip code only. But the columns will be reflected from the first select query. So every time when you are using this thing, the columns will be reflect from the first select query, and it is not a good output. So many of the times when people use union or union all or any set operators, they drop the same columns from the two different tables. But I am just showing you because I just want to make you clear that data types thing is there. So that's why in the age column, it's zip code coming here. But for example, if I'm getting this age as zip code, now the first select query has age as zip code. So now it's coming zip code here. Yeah, column names doesn't matter. Column data types matter. But for getting a perfect output, you will write a query in which name as well as data types are same for getting a perfect output. So this question people ask that in set operators, what matters? Whether the name of the columns or number of the columns or data types of the column. And many times people say that name and number of columns must be same, but it's not like that. Data type must be same. So, and the column name will be reflect from your first select query. Now, in the same query, I want to union one something more. I will write select name, comma kind, comma zip, comma age from pets. Now how this will run? So firstly, it will start from the scratch. First, the result set that will come from these two queries which are in that part of union clause. For example, from these two queries union, we are getting some records like 1, 2. Now this 1, 2 will be a separate select query, and that can be joined with the help of union with this select query. So it will not be like this, the तीनों को all the three that you are matching. It's something like this. The output from the first two select queries will act as the input for this select query for union clause. So if I will run this thing, see, we are getting this output. And Durgesh output is also there. Now, if you write again one select query here, the output from these three will act as an input and will join with the fourth select query with help of operator that you want. Clear to everyone? Clear to have everyone how to use multiple select queries? What is the difference between union and union all? Now we will come towards intersect. So intersect, everybody knows that intersect will give you common records. Common records from the select queries. So I will use something like this, intersect here. Intersect here.
But Durgesh, I have a question.
Huh?
But in above three query, na, there are repeating record. Why? Why not unique records?
Where?
Like अभी जो तीन क्वेरी आपने लिख के रन किया तो उसमें ये डॉग 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 सब रिपीटेड है,
See,
ये डेंजर डेंजर रिपीटेड.
listen. The thing is, just read this complete record.
Means
Danger
complete
of
record unique है.
हाँ, complete
Got
record.
it, got it.
है. That is the question that Divya asked at starting. So now it will be like a composite key, which is
Got it
depending
now.
on 3 columns to make it unique. Clear?
Yeah, clear. Thank you.
Every record will be unique. No record can match.
Means अगर कोई स्टूडेंट टेबल है और उसमें आईडी 1 पे दुर्गेश है, राइट?
हाँ
और आईडी 5 पे भी दुर्गेश है, लेकिन उसका फिर क्लास और फादर्स नेम
हाँ
अलग
हाँ,
है,
तो
तो
वो
वो
दोनों
दोनों यूनिक
रिकॉर्ड
है.
है. हाँ, दोनों यूनिक है.
ओके, थैंक यू, गॉट इट.
Okay. So now we will try to use intersect here. And this was a nice question. So now when we are using intersect here, there are no common records. And now you will say that Durgesh, from this select query and from this select query, there are common records because there will be certain name, kind, and pets who are falling in this condition. They will be there also, here also. But the output is coming nothing. Why is it so? Because zip code is there in the second select query. And no record will have name, kind, zip code in the third query. That's why you are getting no common records. If you will remove this select query, now there is no common record. The records that are coming from this picture are not common to records coming from this picture. Example is that, for example, you are getting 1, 2, 3 here, 1 to 4 here, and here you are getting 6, 7, 8. But one thing is there, just wait. Okay. The first select query is returning no records. That's why you are getting no records. The syntax is correct. Dekho, the third query, second query is returning this much records. But for the first select query is returning no records, which means there will be no common records. That's from why when you are using intersect, you are getting nothing. Clear to everyone? It's clear to everyone? Just ping yes in the chat box so that I can move forward. So now we will come towards except operator. Except operator. So how except operator works?
Intersect is much common to inner join, right?
Yeah, you can say, yeah. My battery of laptop will exhaust because light is not coming and it's loading. So just move towards except operator. So you know how except operator works. If you are getting some records from the first select query. Like you're getting some 1, 2, 3 from the first select query. Then, and in the second select query, you are getting 1, 3, and you have joined, you like added them with the help of except operator. Then the output will come like 4 only. So now I will give you a question and you have to solve it to me with the help of set operators that you are comfortable with. So I have one order ID. Just see who will answer. Order ID, delivery status. Sorry, just take it as a status. Status. So order ID is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And status is shipped, shipped, delivered, delivered, shipped. And one more column is there. Date 2 Jan, 2 Jan, 4 Jan, 3 Jan, 3 Jan. I want the records of orders where the order is shipped but not delivered. Or just I want the order IDs. I want the order IDs where the order is shipped but not delivered. This is my question, and the table name is orders table. Just answer me. This question was asked to me in my target interview in the 3rd round. So you have to do this question. Take your time, solve this question. This is the last question for the class, and then class will complete.
We have to use only these three out of these three set functions.
हाँ, 4 questions that I have told you.
और कुछ नहीं यूज कर सकते.
नहीं, और तो तुम सब क्वेरी लगा दोगे ना, सब क्वेरी से नहीं होगा. हम कर
नहीं, ऑर्डर आईडी का काउंट अगर 1 है तो ऑब्वियसली शिफ्ट ही हुआ है, डिलीवर नहीं हुआ.
चलो, फॉर एग्जांपल देयर आर 5 statuses for simple single order.
तो वो इसमें नहीं बताया ना फिर आपने.
हाँ, so I am teaching you set operators, so I want you to solve this question with set operators.
ओके.
So Aditya is giving me an answer. Select order ID from orders where status is equal to shipped. So this will give you 1, 2, and 5, all the threes.
Mine one, except using except.
Select order ID from orders minus select order IDs from orders where the status is equal to shipped.
Uh, using except we can do, right?
Yeah. So Priya, you are correct. But Priya, you are a little bit wrong. The answer will be simple. Select. हाँ, Mars, you are correct. So Mars का आंसर यहाँ पे ले आते हैं. प्रिया ने थोड़ा राइटिंग मिस्टेक कर दी. Select ID from table where the status is equal to shipped, which will give you the output like 1, 2, and 5. And this will give you the output of 1, 2. And if you are accepting this thing from this thing, you will get an output of 5. That's all. Set operators have made your task easy. So if, for example, there are 5 to 6 status, returned, invoiced, delivered, returned, approved, and all these kind of, in target, there are multiple status, 12 status on a single order.
But you use the same concept over there.
Ha. Are I given this answer to the person who was taking my interview?
Okay.
Same answer. And you can do this question with help of subquery also. Select order ID from orders table where status not in I think delivered will work. I think it will give you error in the above example, like big things. Like just give me some time. I will write it in a different way. ID from orders where the status is equal to shipped and status not in delivered. I think it will work. This type, like subquery, I have not told you right now, so just go with the set operators only. Yeah, table name is orders. I have given this table name.
But how will that work? The last query. Yeah.
Last query, I think it will not work like that way because their status is equal to shipped and filtered records. Okay, status shipped, then it will give me 1,
1, 2, and 5.
1, 2, and 5. And status not in delivered. So 5 thing is not in delivered, and 1 and 2 are in delivered. If we have a real data set, then I can show you.
But sir,
हाँ
hello.
हाँ.
बट ये जो अभी आपने क्वेरी लिखा, ये दोनों वेयर कंडीशन तो सेम ही है लगभग. या तो शिप हुआ हो या डिलीवर नहीं हुआ हो, तो मतलब शिप हुआ हो.
But bro, 1 and 2 are in delivered na. If you will only write this shipped, then what output you will get? 1, 2, and
2 and 5.
But from these 1, 2, and 5, status not in delivered. So 1 का status तो delivered में आ रहा है ना, 2 का भी delivered में आ रहा है.
Got it.
Okay. So that's all for the class.